Welcome back to another Montreal Canadiens Habs Weekly Recap with hockey coach, Coach Francis directly from the beautiful country of Thailand. And we have our co-host directly downtown at the Caveman somewhere, somehow, and Toronto back in the house. Mr. The Legend, Mr. Enoratp is in the house.
Hey, hello, Coach. Hello, Hockey Nation. Good to be here again, Coach, to discuss the weekly recap for the Montreal Canadiens.
Absolutely about that on the great Sunday night, January 14, 2024. Only 2 games on the program today, and NHL very quiet after a busy 16 game yesterday with a lot of great game on the program. We're going to talk about more about the Montreal Canadiens tonight. And then we have had the mid-season review of the Montreal Canadiens. They complete the 41 game against the San Jose Sharks Wednesday, and then they are going to now, they already start the second half. So going to go all around those information that Mr. Enoratp tonight. We have a lot of things to talk about, honestly, and definitely the headline, and we'll see what's happening about that. First of all, we have a couple of people knock the door. Mr. Alain Vaillancourt is in the house tonight. Watch your head, Mr. Enoratp. It could happen again. Here we go. I don't know why. I can explain to you, Mr. Enoratp. I wish I knew. I will let you know. But honestly, we don't know yet what is the problem about that one over there. So we're going to set up here if it works or not. And not really about that. It's not too big, but a little bit bigger. We're going to drop this again. But how was your week, Mr. Enoratp?
Oh, it's pretty good. It's getting cold here in Toronto right now. I think today, right now, we're at about -10, but we didn't get a lot of snow. That's the amazing part. We were supposed to get a really bad blizzard, but at least we kind of skirted that a little bit, and now we just have to deal with the cold.
I don't know.
Other than that, it's been great. Lots
I
of
heard
hockey,
Randy
lots of
Walkman,
football.
he tried to push this to you, so be careful. He's going to send that storm to you the next couple of days for sure. We have, of course, a big storm in the Midwest and USA and the North on the East, on the New York State. So be careful, guys. Stay home, stay warm, and the best thing to do is to watch the Hockey Nation channel, Mr. Enoratp. That's the best thing to go through that. So we have a few people in the chat, Mr. Enoratp. We're going to welcome each one of them. After Alain Vaillancourt, we have Mr. Habs Nation is back in the house. Winter is cold. Yeah, should be cold, Mr. Habs Nation. King of Gamer, I got your proposal. We're going to reevaluate this after the show tonight. And Mr. Enoratp, my fantasy team is going to last for the 3rd straight week, Mr. Enoratp. And I have 137 points, I believe, at that moment. I'm talking to you, 135, something like that. And I'm still losing.
I know you had a good week, but it's just you went up against a tough opponent this week. That's for sure.
Yep. I did everything. So when you get there, sometimes you play well, but you cannot win. But you have to, sometimes you win, and when you don't have a good week. But this week I was supposed to win. And next week I play against you, so it'll be more difficult about that. I'm very happy about my new signature, Charlie Lindgren. The last 2 days he gave me about 12 points. So Charlie Lindgren have a great year so far. Randy Walkman is in the Habs Enoratp. He is in the middle of the frozen Dundee and Calgary. Mr. Randy, welcome in the house. Directly from the belle province de Québec, dans la région de Montréal. He just put his truck UPS on the parking lot Friday at night. Since that, he's going to wait. I can wait to see Gary back on his truck, Mr. Enoratp. Maybe he cannot go in. It will be more frozen, the lock. Maybe it would be stuck at home. Gary Conway is in the house.
Welcome, everyone.
Then what's up with Evander Habs? I don't know. Is it Evander Kane or Evander?
Yeah, I think it's Vander Kane, but he's been quiet, but that's okay. Hyman's picked up the slack. He's become the permanent staple on that first line.
More quiet, better it is.
Now,
or Evander Kane.
It's okay. I think he had, if I'm not mistaken, just recently he had to get a restraining order from his ex-wife.
Yeah.
So
The ex-wife make another big comment during the week, but I'm not going to talk about this, about the
no, we'll
situation,
leave it
about that.
alone.
Yeah. Sharks is in the house. It's snowing here in Smashville. It does not snow a lot in Tennessee, so it's fun for them to have some kind of snow.
Wow.
Mr. Claude Richard from Ottawa is in the house.
Welcome, Claude.
LDP is in the house tonight. Game is lower body. Are you talking about Patrick Kane?
Oh, Patrick Kane.
No, we talk about Evander Kane, but I think it's Patrick Kane. He just said he left the game for lower body.
Oh, maybe he got injured. I'm not aware of that one.
Yeah, so it's just happening right now. So we'll be interesting about this. Bob's her uncle is in the house tonight. Welcome in the house. Thanks to be with our Canadian show. 1 day close to the sprain for Gary Conley. Yeah, you have to do it one by one. I'll wait the deal is little. Bob, coach, also drop comments on your trade proposal. I tweaked the deal a little. Awesome, Bob. I'm going to watch this, read this after that. Mr. Luc Martin is in the
trades
house.
with everybody.
So again?
You're making trades with everybody except me. What's wrong?
I know, right? But I did not trade anyone. I just refused them. Peter August make another trade. I need a little bit more balance. It's not about the number of the point, Mr. Enoratp. It's about I'm losing about 22 point, 23 point power play. So I need to figure out, okay, how I can recover those points. So that's the reason behind that. So
make me an offer,
happening, Mr. Enoratp. Check your lineup if you have some players that have a lot of point on power play. Anyhow, Samson have 0 goal after 2 periods. RDP, yes, you're absolutely right about that for Samsonov. Patrick Leblanc knocked the door tonight. Have a good one tonight. Set a bet on the night. Toronto won by 1.5 goal. Visit the 12 for 2 times the money. And Felix Auger, the LSM to lose an opening match again. The team 2.4. Good luck for them about that. Bob said minus 13. He said right now, I'm just west of Toronto. Bob is the neighbor of Mr. Enoratp. Mr. Enoratp. Going to win straight tonight, better not lose in our tap about this one over there. Mr. King, I cannot get that one. Luc Leverson is in the house tonight. Welcome back, Luc. Thanks for doing well. Minus 30 for Randy over there. And then
it's cold there. Stay warm, Randy.
Yeah, I tried to only trade with the opposite division coach who has Coleman. Play Coleman. I don't know who has Coleman, but I know they like him because he have a good year so far. I don't have the power play, and I'm leading Habs Nation about that. I don't know. I thought I was a good team, but injury, Mr. Enoratp played another role. At some point, I was 6th player was on my injury reserve during the week, so I cannot put all of them on the injury reserve. I have no choice. So last year, I played with Jordan Middleton in the St. Louis Blues, a goaltender, to have a good year. Didn't turn well. This year, I will Carolina Hurricane, and so far, all the 3 goalies got hurt, Mr. Enoratp.
Hurt.
All of them.
Well, remember at the beginning of the year, I offered you Bennington.
Yep. And that's why I just tried the game, Mr. Enoratp, 1-1.
1-1, good. I mean, sorry for Leaf fans.
Yeah. So I got some phone call for the general manager, and initial told me, don't take any of my goals in there next year or your fantasy hockey. Don't touch them. Let them alone. We don't you to take them. So we'll see what's happening about that. So anyway, Mr. Enoratp, tonight, what we got for you and for everybody in the chat, it's a time for the Habs Midseason review. We're going to go through this the next couple of minutes, see what's happening with the Montreal Canadiens during the first half and what are coming now for the second half for them, for the Montreal Canadiens. If you follow my Habs Daily News, Mr. Enoratp, I review the game between Oilers and the Montreal, but I have an Habs mock trade proposal between the Colorado Avalanche and the Canadiens. We know both teams have a really negotiation very well, but the last couple of years, Arthur Lekonen against Justin Barron, one of them, and Alex Newhook last summer. So if you think about that, that's pretty good. possible they could have another trade. And this one, it was Sean Banahan with Kovacevic, Mr. Enoratp, to the Colorado Avalanche. This is the first one pick, the third one pick, and Alex Bocage. That was my proposal on that one. And then if you follow my Mr. Enoratp, my French and Thailand, Pattaya Walking Street, I did that Saturday night, and no, Friday night, Mr. Enoratp. And Mr. Enoratp, it's very strange.
Nothing needs to be said, Coach. Nothing needs to be said.
It's funny. I make a video about good information about Thailand. I got 300 people. I make that kind of thumbnail. I got 1,000 to 2,000 viewers on Mr. Enoratp, and I got 35 subscribers. So maybe it's my new direction, Mr. Enoratp, for the next couple of days. Everything behind the scenes and Pattaya. We'll see happening about that the next couple of days. For sure. The leave are horrible for Randy Walkman. Particularly that, no, not that good. David Larkin scored a goal 1-1. Roy isn't out, Mr. Enoratp, following by Mr. Nicolas de Goubi-Bonneau. Nicolas, Mr. Enoratp, is what? Do you know where is he right now, Mr. Nicolas de Goubi-Bonneau, Mr. Enoratp?
I'm not sure, no.
He's in the jail.
Oh, right. Yes, I forgot about that.
Yeah, he's in the jail. But
we
put him in the
juvenile.
We put him in the juvenile jail because he's only 17 years old. So we cannot. We have to be careful, Mr. Enoratp, right? So we put him on the juvenile. So he has a little bit more freedom. He still have the internet. He can watch, the TV. He can watch our show. But for the next until Friday, he's going to be on that location, Mr. Enoratp, for 1 week. So he's the first one of our show to go in that direction for that one.
Oh boy!
Now we have to click on the likes, King of Gamer. Here we go. The main character, what's that channel, Coach? We talk about my other channel. It's Frenchie and Thailand. Frenchie and Thailand. On my other channel. We just did a live stream a couple of hours ago. Every Sunday night, 7 p.m., we do a live stream talking about Thailand. So another good show tonight. So we appreciate Vinny was there tonight with the other people. So thanks again. And Mr. Enoratp, what we do here, I don't make that channel with all the Pattaya scoop. Here we go. That's the way I'm looking for the next couple of days. I have my... I got my new toys, Mr. Enoratp, this one over there.
Yeah.
And then I figured out, Mr. Enoratp, another thing, because when you record, every time you record something, they have always a blank red pop up. Like if you do the GoPro or that one, they have a little lights here, and it turn on. So ever I put this on me, whatever I put, because it's magnet. And the people can see the light. So I find out I can turn off this. So now it's getting better, Mr. Enoratp. So I can get closer for the people over there. But so it will be interesting about that. So and then Mr. Enoratp, I go to the bar and they check you. They check your pocket, everything like that. So what I do, so I get that and I put behind my phone right here. Sorry about that. So I put my hands around and I come inside the bar and they never check my phone. So I go in and then I make video inside the bar from the VP for the VIP at the top so I can see everyone.
Nobody's going to see that, Coach. Don't worry about it.
So
you're getting good at this. Private eye.
I'm getting better, Mr. Enoratp. I'm not there yet. I'm getting a little bit better about that. That's Mr. Enoratp. I make a video about when I did weight on my gym. I can put this on the weight, and you can see my move. And then I put this at the pool table here at the Montreal condominium, and I put straight under the board and on the table. And when you hit the ball goes straight in front of the camera. You never hit the camera. It's pretty neat. You can put this at the bottom of your glass, and then you drop some water. You can see the water come in. You have a lot of great stuff you can do about that. It's just learning about that. So more to come for sure. You're welcome about that. We're going to move on about this. Coach James Bond.
Coach Bond.
Toronto take the lead 2-1, by the way. A goal of Mitch Marner, I believe. Anyhow, it's 2-1 for the Toronto Maple Leafs. First thing we do, Mr. Enoratp, at the beginning of the show, after 18 minutes, is the headline. We wish next time to get Marko Larrabee Marko is busy night tonight, so we're going to missing him tonight. The sneaky coach, yes, the main character. The headline is on our top of the week. So we're going to start with yours headline of the week and of the weekly recap. And the first one you have, Mr. Top, you gave to me. Big decision ahead. So give us a bit more information about that.
Yeah, for sure, Coach. I mean, I had a bit. I struggled with it a little bit because there were a few directions I could go with in terms of headliners for this. But I figured we're getting closer. I think we're about 6.5 weeks away from trade deadline time, and you know that of course Hughes is going to have to make. He's going to have some big decisions ahead in order to make here. At least the one thing, I mean, we've claimed it all year long, and of course, if you're objective about it, you would have seen it coming. Is the fact that it's going to be very very difficult to make the playoffs. So, in terms of buyer seller, we definitely know that we're sellers, and it would be the prudent thing to do here because it stays within the confines of what their framework is in the development process. So at least that part's out of the way, and he knows what to look at. Having said that, though, I mean, Hughes is not going to be shy or timid in terms of making multiple moves at the if the right offer is there at the trade deadline time. It's simple. Like I think personally, his direction will be to try to make the team a little bit better. Not necessarily this year, obviously, because that's not the goal. It's for the future. And so, in doing that, we have to look at what are some possible candidates that to watch out for as the Habs try to retool ahead of the deadline. And the four names that I come up with, number one, that's been at the top of all of our conversations, has been Sean Monahan. I think he's the number one target for most teams that are out there that are looking for, a depth piece, especially at center position. You know, he's a pending free agent. He's making right now just under $2 million, so he comes with a great price tag, very minimal. Any team would be foolish not to at least ask in terms of what Montreal wants in return for him. So I think he's going to be on most of the contending teams' top list. If you think about it, he's a very versatile forward. He can play down the middle, obviously at center. He can also play on the wing. He can play up and down the line from first all the way down to the fourth line. He comes with playoff experience. I think he's got something like 20, 21 points in about 30 postseason games back when he was with Calgary. And the key thing is he's managed to, knock on wood, he's managed to stay healthy all year long. I know there's arguments to be made that, he could be valuable to stay in Montreal, especially if he's willing to take a bit of a pay cut and stay here. And they're all valid conversations to have. But I think if the return is significant enough, it would serve Montreal well to try to trade him at the trade deadline time, in my opinion. A couple of other guys to watch out for, obviously, are also Tanner Pearson. He's also a very versatile individual. I mean, he's more of a veteran forward, of course, having been with Vancouver and some other teams, but he's currently on the IR for with an upper body injury. But he's projected to be back prior to the trade deadline time. And I think maybe a team that's not looking for anything huge, but maybe a third or fourth line player that's going to add a little bit of experience and some size will definitely look at that. He does have I believe a 17 no trade clause in his contract, so that's something to consider. He's 31 years of age, so he's not going to be uh, a definite plan of Montreal's future. He's making, I think, just over 3 million, 3.25, if I recall correctly. So this one will be a tricky one because maybe teams will be looking for Hughes to take back some money on this contract if they make a trade. And I really don't see Hughes doing that. I think that i- if he gets the right return, he might consider it in terms of taking back some money. But otherwise, he usually doesn't like to do that kind of stuff. So, likely like a mid round pick or a mid level prospect headed back could be what to expect from that. The third person, of course, is Jake Allen. We've talked about that. They've been going with the three goalie system all year long. Ideally, it's not the right thing. Most goalies, even though none of the three have really complained, but most goalies like that schedule to their practices, to their games. They want to know that they're going to be playing. The coach would like to have that opportunity to ride the hot hand when he can, and really that hasn't happened. I don't think any Montreal goalie has played 3 games back to back to back this year. So the most has been two, and so you can expect him to go. And given in the past week, coach, we've seen a number of starters go down in injuries plus some of the teams that were having goaltending problems. We mentioned a few at the start, like Carolina, Toronto, New Jersey was another one. Now LA is in that situation as well. So it could become very interesting at trade deadline time. And I think if you can package maybe a Sean Monahan and a Jake Allen, I mean, you could be looking at a pretty good haul here for the two. And the last person which comes up in conversation in terms of the trade deadline time is also David Savard. But again, he's a guy, he's a veteran that's been playing much better lately ever since he came back from his injury. I know he's making 3.5, so that's not very attractive, and he is signed through next year as well. So that'll make it difficult in terms of a trade to happen. And he doesn't have any trade protection, so at least the door is open there. And he's got, I think, 10 points in the 19 games that he's played. So he's actually his offensive skills have actually improved a little bit from last year. And is it one of those cases where Hughes is going to try to sell high here on Savard? And again, you can make arguments for Savard staying, and definitely, I think if somebody like Monahan is on the way out, it might be smarter to keep Savard for the purposes of being with a very young defensive core. It would be kind of difficult to trade two veterans out of your lineup that have that kind of value and leadership skills all at once. But I mean, for me, those are the four names that really stood out. Of course, there's other things that could come up. There's always, Armia could be a depth piece, but I think the contract will kind of shy people away. I don't think Gallagher's going anywhere. You know, I don't see really anybody else going. Maybe outside chance of a Jake Evans if the price is right, but I think those are the four key names that I think Hughes is going to have to make some very important decisions, and I think hopefully he'll come up on the positive side of the ledger.
Yeah, I just want to add one point where the, the rumor is that Monahan and Hughes have already a conversation, an agreement to be traded with his choice during the month or during the traded line. So that will give a little bit easy to trade Sean Monahan, and I think for that I would not be surprised whatever they get a second round pick or something lower a little bit they will make that choice to Sean Monahan to sacrifice his year to stay with Montreal at a lower price. So um, there's always been that way we can use, and that would be, I believe, that will happen with that player. I think my proposal today was Kovacevic for him to get to increasing the first round pick for the Colorado Avalanche would be at 24, 24 or 25, the third round pick, and the prospect Alex Bocage for that. I think the player maybe not the player you did not mention, but I think I would be surprised a guy like Kovacevic, uh, Aris could be one of the two some at the trade deadline to open a spot for the players coming from now, maybe Engstrom or a Rebacker or Lane Hudson or Jacky or Logan Mayu for the rest of the season with the Montreal Canadiens. Again, it's all about what could happen. But that's, if you think about a trade could happen, I think that there are two names I would add on the list you mentioned, because the list you mentioned is really there. I don't see, only players I don't see they're going to trade is David Savard.
Yeah.
In my opinion, he had too much value for the Montreal Canadiens right now, like Mike Madison. I think they will not let them go for that part. Jake Allen, and Sean Monahan, I can see that departure for the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah, and the other thing is too, Coach. I mean, you're right about that. I totally agree with it. The other thing is, and you don't want to stir a bee's nest here, but I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with Arbor Jacky. That's going to be an interesting situation. Apparently, from the rumors I'm hearing, there are some teams that are willing to offer a first. So, if you're confronted with that type of an offer, do you do it or you don't? And you know how much I like Jacky, so
I'll be honest with you. The only way I would do that, at least, he had to be at least a minimum a top 15.
yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah,
Right? At top 20, I would not. Over 15, I would not do it. I will refuse to do it because he give you a safety right now at that moment. It's not an obligation to
yeah,
trade him at this time anyway.
totally.
Again, any player for the Montreal Canadiens could be on the trade block if you get something really big in return, right? I think the only player they don't want to trade, I think, is Ziski, Doc, Caulfield, and Caden Coley. I
Right.
missed maybe one right now, Sakaski. They are maybe the five
Sikorsky,
player. I
yeah.
think they are not the players to be. But the rest, anything they can get a huge trade in return, I would not be surprised they could apply that situation for each one of them. So we'll be interesting what happening. Big decision ahead for sure. We appreciate a lot of the people in the chat pop up. We appreciate. We're going to finish that line before we come back to you. And finally, guys, my headline, maybe it would be fun of what Mr. Enoratp was really deep. For me, guys, it's the weekly recap. And this week, guys, it was Jayden Strobel said, hey, wait a minute, relax, fans now. Take it easy a little bit. I think you will really go to one direction to another direction, first of all. And then the reason behind that, Mr. Enoratp, because we came for the great weeks last week. They beat Dallas Star. They beat the really bad game against Buffalo, and they beat the New York Rangers. And
That's
they
right.
have, two at the top, maybe 10 always said in the NHL, maybe a little bit lower. So it's really good. It did not do well against Flyers, right? Overall, they get 1 point. That's pretty good, but they deserve. The San Jose Sharks, it was really where really the fans get a little bit upset about this game. But what a great performance against Edmonton Oilers, Mr. Enoratp. At the end of the day, they got 2 points during the week. And they play all the 3 games, Mr. Enoratp, by only losing by 1 goal.
Yeah,
All 3 games again. So at the end of the day, it's another overall. It's a great week overall for the Montreal Canadiens. Whatsoever the play was not there, they found a way to get point every single game this season. They played 24 game of the 42 game now on the overtime and shootout. That's pretty impressive if you think about that. For that. But I'm not done. The reason beside that, relax, fans, because during the week, guys, in the chat, we fire Martin Saint Louis. We trade Nick Suzuki. We trade Mike Madison. And we trade many others in Montreal Canadiens, or we should bench this guy. And what happened to Gallagher? What happened to that guy? And I can all the way with almost everybody passing the thunder of everyone as a hockey fans. But at the end of the day, we have to relax. We have to enjoy what's going on. People was complaining last night about the penalty of Brendan Gallagher. They play the penalty against Mike Madison. He should not be there. The turnover, create that, everything like that. But I think we missed a couple of things right there. I'm going to show to you, Mr. Enoratp, Mike Madison. Everybody, a lot of people criticize Mike Madison in the chat. I'm going to give you an example of Mike Madison happening yesterday again, and again the Oilers. Mr. Tap is one reason they shut down Connor McDavid yesterday with Kaden Coley. But here we go. Defensively, Mr. Tap on that second, three different time Mike Madison intercept the puck. We play hard again, always open end. Now another block shot on this one, Mr. Tap. How many players Montreal can skate like him? Look, a turnover right there.
Yeah.
The Oilers already on the
Backwards.
breakout. Look, he beat everybody, guys, behind all the Oilers. Trace out everybody. This is what Mike Madison bring on the table, Mr. Tap. So one of the people said,
Absolutely.
"Oh yeah, but we can trade him. We have players who can skate like Mike Madison."
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. He's definitely a great skater. I mean, he does have some deficiencies defensively sometimes, but I think that's more a byproduct of him gambling a lot, and
But at the end of the day,
that
Mr.
comes with
Tap,
the
when you
price.
are exposed a lot on the ice, when you play 25 minutes, 27 minutes, 28 minutes, and maybe sometime more, it's normal you're going to create turnover. It's
Sure,
normal you're going to
sure.
make mistake because you play too many minutes or you play a lot of minutes. That's normal. If you play 13 minutes versus 27, 28, that's you're going to create. But look what is he bring on the table. Now, yes, he is not Chris Letang. Yes, he is not Ken McCarr. But what we have in Montreal Canadiens that not many can do what he does right now at this moment during that transition of the rebuilding. That's the reason for me I will not trade Mike Madison because he helping the team on the many other ways area of the game we don't have right now. Until we have those players, I always said this out that when you trade the players who get the spot, who going to cover what we lose. We don't have anybody. It's a big problem for the Montreal Canadiens. I think right now, if you trade Jake Allen, I think we have two goaltenders can handle that part over there, right? And
Yeah,
he can go like that. I think if you lose Sean Monahan, this player we're going to live, we're going to figure out we don't have any many players can play like Sean Monahan at this moment because we have injury Kirby Doc, Alex Newhook, and then we have other players are not ready to pick it up there. So at the end of the day, yeah, always get Christian Dvorak. You're going to laugh at me, but Dvorak bring another asset what Monahan does on the PK, on the face-off. I can go all the way like that.
yeah,
So at the end of the day,
absolutely.
Mr. Tap, I think we should be a little
And
bit more relaxed with the performance of Montreal Canadiens. And no one was expect a 42 game to be 17, 18, and 7. And my mind, this
exactly.
is better at what we expect about this. We are just tendency in Montreal to blame many players right away when we have losing one game, two game. And this is the end of Martin Saint Louis after two game return. As I said, the fans relax, enjoy the ride. Going to be for next 2 years, Mr. Tap. Next 2 years out of the playoff. And the chance to make it is really slim. But during the time we progress, we're going to get better. We're going to have the right people, the right players at the same time. Finally, Mr. Tap, I have one more thing to do. I'm a little bit more, and then Andy Coivila is in the house tonight, Andy Coivila. And Andy Coivila told me yesterday about the people in Montreal boo McDavid, everything like that. Mr. Tap, when I watch the game, my sound of my game is off and is
Off.
mute,
Yeah.
right? So I don't know the impact about this. I just give him an answer about yeah, but the people pay their ticket, they can do whatever they want to do, and this is true, right? They can do whatever you do, but at the end of the day, Mr. Tap, I don't understand why they really boo Connor McDavid the way they did yesterday. Uh,
Yeah.
I don't see
I,
that. I
I
don't extend. If it was a player, like I can understand what Sherrod did to Max Pacioretty. Like, there's
yeah, yeah,
something happening
yeah.
to a specific player for the Montreal Canadiens. I think Chris Crater is another one carry on that again every time when he play because of carry price station. Whatever the circumstance, you have something happening. I can understand. But this is a guy that players play maybe the best
Oh, he's
player
the
in
best.
NHL or at least the top
He's the
three
best player
best
on the
players,
planet.
right?
Yeah,
And there we
absolutely.
go. And we scream to him and we boo him. Little bit Mr. Tap, Guy Lafleur. Think about this in 1970s. Guy Lafleur go everywhere and he got booed all the time. He touched the puck. For Guy Lafleur, what he bring on the table and what McDavid bring on the table, I just feel it's not necessary. It's not nice to do that. It's not classy to that. I can
No,
understand someone, they have not hurt on the fight Jacky last year. I could understand that, right? But we talk about the best player on the hockey, the most excited, entertaining players, and honestly, he did nothing to the fans of Montreal to do that. So I don't know. I just feel it's
yeah,
not
I
necessary to do that.
you know what, Coach, I agree with the analysis, definitely, because McDavid, without question, is probably the best player in the league and doesn't deserve that. But I think, again, not to defend the action because I think it still was wrong, but I think it was more something that happened in the third period. And when I looked at the replay, the entire after the game, the entire evening, I was looking at it to see that. What I noticed is it was at the foot of the incident where Draisaitl scored and Fogel had created an interference with Monty, and then they did the review and they said it was not goaltender interference, and so the fans were already in that type of a mood. Again, that doesn't excuse the action, but you'll notice that slightly after that there was a play where McDavid ran into, accidentally or not, ran into Monteball again in front of the net. And that's when I saw that the boo really picked up. So it was more a reaction, I think, not so much to the player, but the situation that precipitated it on that goal that caused that. So, I mean, I'm willing to give a bit of a mulligan here to the fans, even though I don't think it was the right thing to do. But at least that's something to keep in mind in terms of why they were booing him. Again, it wasn't him. It was the incident that happened before that that created
Again, I'm sorry about that. We don't boo for her. We boo for. Sorry, it was a mistake. It was not purposely happening about that one there. I got
it.
distracted. It's not that. But
I'm
you have to
sure you
like
did.
maybe it make David wife about that. Before we move on, Mr. Enoratp, great headlines. I think we deliver great contents there. The chat is on fire. Don't forget, guys, to click on the likes. We have a few people knock the door, Mr. Enoratp. We have Francois Pitt. Welcome back. We have Rick
Hey,
Bengal
thanks.
and the beautiful Dementra from the Lake House.
Hey, Rick.
Fixer, the winner of the French quiz, is in the house tonight. We have she's
Welcome.
back in the house. Nat from Montreal area. She's back with us tonight. And Rabinoff is with us. Roy, we got about him a little bit other. Peter is in the house tonight. Peter Pensono is in the house tonight. And Mr.
Oh,
AI, I call him AI, Mr. Enoratp. He's with the Hockey Nation show tonight. A long time we don't see you around. We really appreciate it to be with us tonight. And then we got King of Geeting. Do we get a little bit better? Demandra, here we go. She was in the top right here. A little bit earlier. Fixer. Luc Lafortune, t'es with Luc Lafortune de l'Ange Gardien. He is back in the house with us tonight, Mr. Enoratp. A lot of great comments in the chat. Madison is highest trade value right now. About this one, the Beau McDavid cause or something then happened early in the game from Rick Bengal. Francois, I love Zuski, but we need a real number one center, Francois Pitre. About this one over there. Mr. AI said, have fan boo other team player. They said they could like him. About this, Peter, a player with an history of injury and inconsistency play. About that. Then King, they blew. It was skating beside Evans, I think, and they both create a penalty about this one over there. Rick considers that way. Roy said we boo Mr. Enoratp versus baseball, and for that. And I've been very happy about this one over there too. Need to Island type. Great. This is only my second season of fantasy. I'm still developing, but I really start seeing got our experience. King, considers what you're doing. You're doing a great job, by the way. They should boo Justin Trudeau, Mr. Enoratp,
of
next time.
course. That goes without saying.
Yeah, absolutely. The only problem I have now is figuring out how to fix my mess and net. I will helping you again. We'll talk to you a little bit later Where is the next quiz, Fixer?
I'll help you, King.
Next Friday, Mr. Fixer, will be the next quiz, friendship quiz. About this one
So you
there.
got
Here
him
we go.
hooked now, Coach. You got him hooked to a
I
friendship
know.
quiz here.
I'm going to start in that way there. The man told me I cannot said anything about Sakoski. Oh, I just did it,
Good.
Rick, about that one over there. For that one. Here we go, Mr. We're
Oh,
going to
come
move
on,
on.
Coach.
Almost 9:45, so we'll try to get a little bit early tonight. Montreal Canadiens on the week, guys. Review game 0-1-2 for the Montreal Canadiens. They lost in overtime with shootout against the Flyers, 3-2, I believe. And then they lost again the San Jose Sharks, but the same score, 3-2, I believe. Is this 3-2?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they lost again the Edmonton Oilers by the score 2-1 offensive for them. So I recall a 2 point overall on the total of 6. Mr. Tap, give us a bit more a review of the week, or maybe a review of the any game, or maybe more in general, or maybe the Oilers game.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, congratulations to the Oilers. Yesterday, that won their 10th consecutive game, which was a franchise record for him. Hard to believe, Coach, that you've had some great teams with Gretzky on it and over the many years, and they've never had a 10-game winning streak over those years. But nevertheless, they're there now, and they seem to be in good position. I think they're last time I checked, they are in a wild card spot, or at least they're tied for a wild card spot right now. It was it was a big mountain for them to climb because they were at the bottom of the league at the beginning. But when you have that much talent, yeah, you never count them out, and they're proving that. And a lot of times we forget about a team like Edmonton. I think they will have something to say when it comes to the playoffs, but enough about Edmonton right now. In terms of Montreal, it didn't quite go exactly as we thought. I think you have our recordings there, or our predictions. I think I had said 1-1-1 they would go this week.
Yep, you're absolutely right.
But
You what 1-1-1 last week with Luc
and I
Laforcine on
think
top. Remember, you take
it
this
was
because Luc
yes,
Laforcine.
that's right. I copied him, and I thought maybe the San Jose game was the one that they would have had a shot to win. But again, this is all part of the process, as Coach was saying, and we need to be patient through it. You're going to see games where they should be winning, and they sometimes will come out flat, and then for whatever reason they get up for big teams that come especially into the Bell Center, and you get a great game like yesterday. That had to rank for me. That had to rank as probably, if not the best game this year, close to it. There were a couple of other games like the Dallas game and a couple of others that come to mind, but this was a well executed game. It's unfortunate, and I'll say it. It's unfortunate that a bad video review, changed the tide of that game a little bit early on in the third period.
Not
If
that
you
one,
look
Mr.
at
Tap. Here we go.
yeah, here it is. And what you'll notice as Fogle comes around, not only does he pick up with his right foot Montembeault's stick, but he also moves him out of position, which creates that gap for Draisaitl to tap the puck into the empty net. But uh, you know, uh, what can you do? Some of these things are very unpredictable. I thought this was an easy call to make for goaltending interference, but that's why I'm here and not at the video review room. But they have to come up with some better
Maybe you don't know, Mr. Tap. We
way
just
to
send you the
manage that.
resume of you at the NHL the booth or the review for next week, Mr.
Well,
Tap.
yeah, for sure.
All right, because first of all, Mr.
It's
Tap, you are a backup teacher, right?
yeah, yeah.
So
Well,
why not
teacher,
to be
yeah,
become a backup a backup reviewer for
video
the
reviewer.
NHL?
Yeah, good. Yeah, it's you know what, Coach. I always hate to put the blame on either refs making bad calls or video reviews, but sometimes it's pretty obvious. And if it's causing that much question, is that many question, if it's creating that many question marks at the end of the day, and I'm not talking about just this game, I'm talking about a number of other games, other plays that were less of an infraction have been called goaltending interference, and it goes around the league. So then you need to take a step back and say, okay, maybe we need to reevaluate or tweak this rule a little bit so that it minimizes the number of incidences where it creates this kind of doubt throughout. And that's all I'm saying. You can't just leave it like this and hope for the best. It really makes it difficult for the fan base to accept for either team.
Yep, sorry about that. I think, it's overall, you're welcome, Andy. I think overall, Montreal did a really good, 2 good period again. I disagree with Enoratp. So Edmonton totally dominate most of the game. I said to you, not really.
Not at all.
Nine shot versus 6, 12 versus 9. The third period, 19 shot versus 8 for the Montreal Canadiens. Montreal stay under pace or 8-9 shots, but I would say to you in our tap on that period, the third period, they played 6 minutes on the PK with 3 penalties, one from Jake Evans, one from the penalty call for review challenge, and then finally, Mr. Tap, I want to talk about that one. It's Brendan Gallagher, guys. Again, Gallagher got a penalty at the end of this game. And I want to sharing with you guys the difference between someone skate well in NHL, someone does not skate well. A stride is so important in NHL. Now you go see Gallagher, guys. He looked about the guys on the side. He checked about the size. Now he realized Tresalo is right there. Again, he go from the inside. He should be from the outside. But check what the Tresalo guy is going right there. Can you see his stride? Just prior to that one, they have a better extension right away here. His extension of Tresalo. And he's going to do a double push. What is a double push, Mr. Tap? It does not cross over. This is rare, you can see. Gallagher right now is trying to catch up him. He's going to try to on the crossover. And that's the big difference between them. Look, he does not a crossover, Mr. Tap. He does a push. Tresado, guys, he does not go under. He just go another push and from inside, outside edge. That's pretty good. So on the time, Mr. Tap, look, that's from the skate between his 2 skate for Gallagher versus Tresado a little bit earlier about that one there. And now you have to go on the crossover Gallagher. And you have to go from the inside to outside. Really bad play by Gallagher. His stick is still down. So he's chasing a guy, guys, by cross-checking. And now, for that moment, Mr. Tap, he loses the battle. The only thing he's thinking right now is to go under the stick with no stride. If he was consistent to cross to move his feet to Tresado, I don't think so. He's going to use that penalty over there. Again, this is a bad play by Gallagher. But again, the difference, guys, between a stride from Tresado is that longer versus Gallagher. That's a guy play on the high level, Mr. Tap, versus applaud. There's not. Again, I'm stuck with that picture, Mr. Tap. I have to move this out down lower, Mr. Tap. I'm going to click all the time about that.
Oh boy, Coach.
And that's happening about Gallagher, Mr. Tap, about this. We just talked about Mike Madison a little bit earlier, right? And definitely for that game again, the Oilers guys. I want to talk about Sakoski. Is a guy continues to improve his game. And he's getting better and better. And another way right now here, guys, on that one there, is good. So that's no big deal. Look his shifty hands over there. Now he tried to go on the back end. The goaltender got almost beat, Mr. Tap, on that one over there. And look, Skinner and then Caulfield tried to score a goal on that one there. Point behind that, Mr. Tap, is Gallagher. Sakoski continues to drive that line like any other players on that team, and is looking good game after game. And we should be proud of what Juraj Sakoski did. Samuel Montembeault had a great game yesterday, 9.951 save percentage. I love the way the first line, Nick Suzuki, Cole Caulfield, Juraj Sakoski, Caden Coley, and Mike Madison, they play 95% all the time McDavid was on the ice yesterday against Montreal Canadiens. And during that time, McDavid had only 1 point, 1 assist, only 1 shot, and his assist is running a 4 versus 3 on the overtime goal on the power play. Put this all together, Mr. Tap. I think Montreal Canadiens delivered a good performance overall. Again, they bounced back after 2 bad games. At least the last game against San Jose Sharks, the lack of effort was not always been there. They have a difficult time to adjust. But when Montreal Canadiens does not give a lot of space on the ice to anything with speed, they are going to perform better, and they deliver this. So great preparation for the staff of the Montreal Canadiens to play against the Edmonton Oilers to find a way to stop by at the limit who they are. So, but we have to give credit to Oilers who they are. 10W, Mr. Tap. This is the first time in the history they accomplished that sequence, that streak. And then, as a Montreal Canadiens, for me, it was a great game to see Montreal play a great game overall. It's not always be perfect, but again, with a team at that level versus Montreal Canadiens, I think that's pretty good. Detroit tied the game, by the way, Mr. Tap, 2-2 against Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah, good contest going on there.
So
important
that's
game for both teams.
Absolutely right. We're going to see what's going on about this. Bedtime. Bonsoir, Rick. Have an amazing, great night for that one over there. This game. Do we play the Habs tomorrow? Mr. Nathan, we have a super chat for Mr. Rick Bengal. Welcome back, Mr. Rick Bengal. I don't know why we don't have a super chat, Mr. Tap. I did not turn on that one.
I think it's a sarcastic one, but that's okay. We'll take it.
Here we go. Super chat, Rick Bengal. Here we go, Mr. Tap. Rick Bengal gave us a super chat. We give him, and we still have to give him a refund for Sarkozy goal. But until then, Mr. Tap, we're going to take advantage of that, of the super chat. Thanks so much, Rick. Well, it's a great night with the Demendra tonight. Here we go. That gave us a bit of information. Coach, look, took this picture. Look, the person. I just love my camera, Mr. Luke. About that. Alex Tobol is Savar Abination. About that one. Then Mitch Berlin is in the house. Berkeley captain was a Wizard today. Mitch was at the game, I believe. Mitch, I think he was at the game. I would love to hear for a little bit more about that one for sure. Don't forget, guys, to click on the likes. Roy in our tab, kicking the stick. The spirit of goaltender interference is bowling over the goaltender, prevent goaltender from moving on his crease. Great. And the other thing I think on that goal, Mr. Tap, the fact he go inside the crease. This is for me my biggest problem about that one with him.
Yeah, it's not just, but it's not just to correct that. It's not just about bowling over the goalie. I mean, if you make contact with their pad and you push them in either into the net or cause them to defer from the direction that the goalie was intended to go, and you could see Montreal was going distinctively to his left, which is where the puck was, then to me that's interference. Either that or you have to go back to, there was a time when players could not enter the crease, which is also the international rule. And if a skate goes through there, then maybe that's the solution. I don't know. They introduced that at that point to sort of prevent goalies from getting serious injuries from players ramming into them. I mean, we remember that fondly in Montreal with the Kreider and Carey Price situation in the playoffs a number of years ago. But I don't know. I don't want to say much more about that. To me, it was interference.
Yeah, absolutely about that one. So that was a bit happening. Again, they play against the Flyers. They lost, but it's called 3-2 on overtime. This game, again, there was a game they was not deserved to get 1 point. And then firstly, they lost, but it's called 3-2. Mr. Tap, again, the San Jose Sharks the following day about that. So that's a review of the Montreal Canadiens on that one with them, Mr. Tap. A little bit more what's going to happen with the Montreal Canadiens during the week, Mr. Tap. They first of all, they put Langstrom on the waiver. They got claimed by the Anaheim Ducks after they make a trade with Jimmy Trestle to color Coach. They create a lot of conversation. Then we heard during the week, Josh Anderson got hurt. He did not play a game. And it's a day-to-day for right now for Josh Anderson. We have to follow up with a couple updates. He's not on the ER, I believe, Mr. Enoratp, about
No.
Josh Anderson. So we have to wait about this. More news during the week. Emil Henneman played for the Montreal Canadiens, I believe, 3 games until he got returned to the Laval Rocket. And he's going to score a goal, I believe. It's on his first game against the Laval Rocket. So Henneman, 4 games with Montreal at 0 point. He have a good, at least 1 or 2 games he played with Sean Monahan and Jose and Jesse Olenin. So we'll see Henneman if he's going to return in during the next couple of weeks on the Montreal Canadiens. And then, of course, it was the welcome of the first game in the NHL, Joshua Roy, again, the Edmonton Oilers, play with Sean Monahan and Joel Armia. Maybe give us a bit what you think about the performance of Joshua Roy overall, again, Edmonton Oilers.
Well, it wasn't much of an impact, Coach, and I don't mean that necessarily in a bad way. I didn't think he made an impression either way. I found him to be a bit timid, but that's understandable. It's his first time up with Montreal, and I'm sure the nerves were going through his system. I found, he couldn't either catch or make a pass that looked good. Again, those are just jitters in my eyes. He looked a little bit tentative as well, like he was holding the stick a little bit too tight from time to time, and that's what was causing him not to receive the passes very well. But definitely not out of place. I think that as time goes on and his comfort level builds, he will definitely be able to contribute more.
Great point. I think for me, I said to Roy, it was a good game overall for him. Not a great game. It's not like it, but not a bad game too. Bad game too, because I
Yeah,
think he did not put. When you look about the first game for someone, you try to say, okay, how is composure? How nervous he is? Did he create some bad move with bad play? Make a turnover, gave away whatever it is, and at the end of the day, he did not do anything bad during that game. He didn't do a lot of great things, but he didn't do a bad thing. And then he was still on the ice at 2:34 at the end of the third period, Mr. Enoratp, with Monahan and Armia. So Martin St. Louis gave him some good minute. He earned during the game to use him at the end of the game. So he was confident about his 200 feet game. And then finally, I will say to you, the fact like Joshua Webb played first time at home, it's not easy, Mr. Enoratp, to composure. We will
exactly.
never say about that. So good first game for Joshua Webb. We'll see he's going to stay with Montreal again before they go on the road start Tuesday. And we have to follow up what happened with Joshua Webb with the Montreal
Yeah,
Canadiens. We have a question from
yeah, and he
you,
got.
Mr. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. No, I was just going to say, and he also got 13 minutes of total ice
Here
time,
we
so
go.
that's
That's what
pretty
I
good
was
for
going
his
to try
first
to
time up.
said. You have 13
Yeah,
minutes for Martin St. Louis when I said Martin St. Louis gave him at the end of the game. You're sorry about that. That's pretty good. So it's the top 9 minutes, we can call it. And I think I
yeah,
believe he got used on the power play for a couple of seconds. Unit
yeah.
number
It's
2.
possible.
Unit
Yeah,
number 2.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The question we got from Willie, yes, they play against Colorado Monday night, Mr. Willie. And then, Roy, I ask you, is the consistency, the blowing of the big lead worrisome?
You know what, Roy? I think this year more than any other year, it seems to be more of an NHL problem, and I wouldn't even call it a problem. I think that the parity is so much now in the league that no lead is really comfortable. We're seeing 2, 3, and sometimes even 4 goal leads being evaporated by opposing teams. The fact that it's happening with Montreal as well, I mean, I wouldn't say it's necessarily worrisome. It's part of the development that they're going through. When you have a very young team, you're going to make mistakes, and it's these kind of situations, tight games like yesterday, that they learn from as well. And if anything, I've seen them become a little bit better, because there were a couple of games on the road where we did have the lead, and then the other team seemed to be coming back. And the one that comes vividly to mind was the Dallas game. I think we had a 4-0 lead, and then it was 4-2, and they pulled the goalie, or it was 4-1, and they pulled the goalie with about 6 minutes to go. And they were getting very close to tying that game, but Montreal held in. So it's part of the process, and it throughout the NHL this year.
Yeah. I'll give you an example, Mr. Enoratp, here. It's funny when we think about this. When they take the lead after the first period, the record is 6-1-4. When they take the lead after two periods, they are 10-0-1, Mr. Enoratp. So
Oh.
they lost 5 of the 22 game when they lead at some point on the first or second period. They lost only 5 of them, so that's pretty good. I think sometimes we don't see, and I think for me, in Mr. Enoratp, most of them is because the two reasons. They are a young team. That's one reason,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And they have to learn about that.
yeah,
And second thing, I think the lack of offensive. So when you lead by 2 goals, when you lead by 3 goals, or 1 goal at some point, Mr. Enoratp, that goal they need to armor the team, right? This is we don't get many game. They let the team come back, but they find a way to win usually on overtime on a shootout. But again, when you lead like this, the 3-1 game example or 2-0, imagine if they score another goal. And but they have
yeah.
to learn as a young team to how controlling the lead, time management, puck position, right? And time the clock, time management, and then the management of the game overall. So it's all the something like that they have to learn, and this is normal for a young team. But again, the NHL this year have an increasing for the last 2 years, guys. You can take the lead. Toronto last week 3-0. Many teams have a lead, and then they lost a game. I think Randy with Calgary, I believe, last season is on top. They have another team that was struggling. It's just a part of what the NHL is anymore because the offensive and the power play is increasing overall, like it was in the past with the trap. And you can lead by 1 goal, and you're going to close the door right away. It was difficult in the past, Mr. Tap, adaptable.
And the level of players with skill levels that are at an elite level is unrivaled. Really, I know we can look back to the years ago when we had some of the dominant teams in the league with some excellent Hall of Famers on those teams. But you got to admit that the players today they're just so much. There's so much more uh, uh, equipped with skill levels that are unparalleled.
I'm sorry about this one there. I tried to answer that question, Mr. Tap. One, the news on New Hook is returning.
He's skating with the team right now, and I think he's in a
It's
he's
Pearson, Mr.
skating.
Tap is kidding.
Oh, Pearson skating, not
Yeah,
New
it's
Hook.
just
Okay,
Pearson. It's not New Hook. New Hook is until the end of the February.
okay.
Yeah,
So he'll be back. Yeah,
yeah. About that. Now, Alan, ask you: do you think Nashville make the playoff or not?
they have a very good chance. I mean, they're in a position right now. They've been playing some good hockey. They have good goaltending. Defense has always been fairly solid. My only question mark with Nashville is their offense. They struggle to generate offense. Once you're by Forsberg, it's slim pickings after that. So it'll be interesting. They might be able to hang on. It all depends on the latest surge that Seattle's put on. I think they've won 8 or 9 in a row themselves lately to put themselves right in a good position. Of course, LA is still there, even though they've had a bad streak of games. Edmonton has made their climb. We still don't know where Calgary will end up. I believe they'll be on the outside looking in, but you can never count them out, especially with Markstrom playing much better this year. So it'll be tough, but I think they're going to hang around right till the end, and I wouldn't be surprised even if they become buyers at the trade deadline time.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I think the only problem I see is because the Pacific Division is so tight now. You have the Kings,
Yeah,
you have the Oilers, you have the Kraken, and now you have the Flame into that part over there. This is the
yeah,
bad news for that, Mr. Allen. For that, the good news, Mr. Tap, is because Nashville play on the division where it's not very good team. Other effect, you have Winnipeg, Dallas, and Colorado. So Nashville can compete against Arizona, St. Louis, Chicago, and I missed one there, Minnesota. It makes sense. So
yeah,
they can get more point if, like, the Oilers play against the Flame or the Oilers play against the Kraken or the Oilers. They're going to kill each other in the Pacific Division. So the bad news, the good news is Nashville can slip around and keep and stay in the wild card. The only way he can make the playoffs on top, and I believe they need to add more players on the trade deadline. They cannot hang in with the team right there all the way to the end, and they need a little bit more the productivity of four young prospects they have over there. The Evangelista or Evangelista, I believe his last name.
Evangelista,
Yeah,
Evangelista, yeah.
yeah. And then you have Parmenizin,
Mm.
and then you have Novak. They have a difficult time to step up since the beginning of the season. Tonessimo, I believe, is under one. So the fourth young team, a player they have, they play a specific role in Nashville, need to step up to bring that kind of quality of the caliber for the Nashville to stay in the playoff.
Yeah,
Now, one thing we have to say is great. We talked about coaches and NHL a couple of days ago in the show, and I think Andrew Brunette does an amazing, great job behind the bench. And then Barry Trotz, guys, nobody talk about this. Think about the signature of Randall Riley with the Nashville Predator, the impact he make with that team, Mr. Tap, and the departure of Matt and of the Owenson and Duchesne and Granlund last season. So it's a team can handle there because the division is not strong compared to other divisions. But I think they missed a couple of pieces of the puzzle. Mr. Tap. This is a long answer for just a quick question.
yeah, yeah. They've. You're right. They definitely have to get more production out of Parison, Tomasino, Evangelista. Like those guys are have to help out Forsberg with the scoring on that team.
Yeah, I'm
And
sorry about that
somebody
one there.
mentioned,
Mr. Adam Berger is in the house. The Toronto Maple Leafs, I believe, take the lead, Mr. Tap, 3-2 at 140.
oh wow, late in the game.
Wow. Andrew Cup, Mr. Tap, got a score for them. Adam Berger is in the house. Welcome back. The Vegas Mr. Tap called Brisson from the team and the Silver Knights
Detroit.
in Nevada. We have Mitch Bellin is in the house tonight. Larry Lavallée knocked the door, Mr. Larry Lavallée. Thanks
Hey,
for being
Larry,
on the
you're
show.
welcome.
Samuel is in the house a bit earlier. And then we have a new one pop up earlier. I don't know, Mr. Tap now is somewhere on the top of all the chat we got tonight. I apologize for that one. Try to get back because I don't like to missing something about this one there, but it looked like I miss him. But you know who you are. He is the first time in the chat, Mr. Tap. François Pitt, by the way, is with us tonight. So, Alan, thank you, Coach Enoratp, for answering my national question. You're welcome about that one there. We have a couple of people talk about the Sun Kings, guys. Going to come back to you next minute. We talk about Sven Hughes, Mr. Enoratp, about the Montreal Canadiens, and then. During the week, we have RHB back in the lineup. Did not score again, but he brings some kind of dimension Montreal did not have for many games for RHP play on the third line with Gallagher. And then the last game, they scratched Mr. Enoratp, Justin Barron for the Montreal Canadiens, and they bring back Kovacevic That's happening for the Montreal Canadiens. Not done yet, Mr. Tap. I have a couple of things. Montreal Ad Prospect News. This is a new segment we bring on the table for everybody. So hopefully you enjoy it. And that we got Mr. Tap tonight. And first of all, the Montreal Canadiens make a trade with the Buffalo Sabres to get Philippe Sidorvics. Anything you want to add about this, or it's all good?
No, that was just for future consideration. So, it's really, I think, to help out Laval a little bit,
Yep.
depth.
It was held to scratch during the game, but we expect him to get there. Good night, Roger Delaney, by the way. The Montreal Canadiens, following by that, Mr. Tap, trade with a Rocket and American, the Rochester American. They trade, they got Chris Jendrick for Noah Lao on Mr. Tap, an extra defenseman for the Laval Rocket. No space with no room. Montreal, Laval, already 9 defensemen. Jendrick was loaned to the 12-year Lions, Mr. Tap. We know what's going on, Mr. Tap. We cannot give anything. Philip Eriksson, a draft par le Montreal Canadiens 2023, 162 overall pick. It was loaned for the CSHL to the Nibro on the Sweden 2. It's a little bit inferior league. Eriksson, first time professional, so he's going to be for a couple of games with Nibro. And finally, we have 2 trades for the prospect Montreal. First of all, Daniel Sobolev, draft pick in 2021, defenseman, 165, got trade for the Niagara to the Brentford, joined now Mr. Jekai, Mr. Tap. And finally, the big trade of the week, Mr. Tap, and a great week is Owen Beck trade to the Peterborough, to the Saginaw, and he has a game, a 6.2 goal, 4 assists. I don't know what he did last game, Saturday night. Maybe you know more than me. Do you know what's happening to him?
Yeah, I think he listened to us here on Hockey Nation,
I think I
and
have
we
1
were
or 2
complaining.
points, I believe.
we, we were complaining that we were a bit disappointed with his offensive production this year. So he went out there and he proved us all wrong. And I'm glad, because I think he's definitely a player that will have a future with Montreal. And he's picking up. I know it's only a couple games now, but he's picked up, I think, a total of 7 or 8 points in those 2 games.
Yep.
So let's hope he continues that streak.
I'm sorry about that. Probably helping him. That gave him an access now to go to the second time back to back at the at the Memorial Cup. We know Saginaw owes the tournament, Mr. Tap and
Very
Jones.
strong.
So on May, so helping them, and then the Detroit hit the
Or
bonsai,
2.
and Lucas Raymond guys are winning again the Toronto Maple Leaf. And congratulations! Now another
Good
big
game.
celebration. Someone got a record, something happened. David Perron, I don't know what's going on, but a lot of celebration on the ice, left and right, and they beat the Toronto Maple Leaf. We know there's kind of rivalry still on between both teams, right?
Yeah, and not only that, with this victory now, it brings them 1 point within the Toronto Maple Leafs for that 3rd spot in the Atlantic. So put on
Wow.
your seatbelts, because it's going to be a big journey ahead for these 2 in the second half.
The bench is on fire, Mr. Tap, after that goal. I don't know why, but very interesting to see
Was it
that.
an was it an empty net goal?
I'm saying again.
Was it an empty net goal?
Yeah, Lucas Raymond score.
Yeah,
Another player,
yeah.
Mr. Tap. I'm going to finish maybe 7 points behind with 140 at the end of this week, Mr. Tap, but not going to be enough. Here we go. So that's happening about that one with them. So that we get all the ad news about that one with that. We're going to hit now the mid-season. Bob, we're going to get there. You're welcome, King of Gamer and to Cup. A lot of race from Octown about Perry going to the leave. About that, we said Adam Berger. It was Adam Berger, Mr. Tap. It was in the house. We talked to him anyway. Do you think Lester Gog will be able to wrap himself in the time for the playoff? We don't hear a lot. I do not know too much about the situation with Lester Gog, if he's going to be ready or not. He was possibly taped, but
He
I
won't
don't know
be.
if it's confirmed. Any news about that, Mr. Tap?
I had heard maybe about a month and a half ago, and it looked like he was going to possibly be gone the whole year. Whether he's going to be able to make an appearance in the playoffs, that I haven't heard about. But even if he did, he's been away from hockey for quite a while, so it might take a considerable amount of time and conditioning for him to get back into game shape form.
Very interesting what happening again for Toronto Maple Leaf. Now you said to me, Mr. on top, Toronto now play Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver, Seattle, Winnipeg for the rest of the month
Mm-hmm.
for Toronto Maple Leaf.
It's going to be a tough go. Those are the games in hand we talked about the other night, right, Coach? Said it's great that they have the games in hand, but now they have to win. That's the
Secondly,
key,
they are number 4, I believe, the toughest schedule for the second part. How
right?
about that?
And they still have the same goaltending situation. I think tonight they started Samsonov, if I'm not mistaken.
Let,
Not
let's presume no fans for the Leaf here, right? Maybe they are not here, right? For all
good
the
channels
people
here
in the
somewhere.
chat right now, and you, Mr. Tap, what we will be at the end of the year, the Toronto Maple Leaf not in the playoff.
Oh, it'll be chaos. It's in this city. I don't know. Given the expectations for the team and what they were coming into the year, they had made some. I
Can you
thought
imagine
some.
that, Mr. Tap? 2 minutes. can can you sit 2 minutes
No,
thinking about what could happen in the city of Toronto if they don't make the playoff? I don't say they're not
I
going to
know
not
it would
make
be
the
crazy.
playoff, but they are not in this situation right now to say, oh, it's guaranteed they're going to make the playoff. Because right now the
No,
Panthers and the Boston are flying in front of them. And now they have to deal not only Detroit, but they still have the Detroit, the Tampa Bay Lightning behind them, 1 point
that's
behind
right.
them. I know they have only 40 games, but they have to win and they have to play the 6 game I just mentioned to you. If they lose the 4 or the
Exactly.
5 game, sometimes they only have 3 points in front of other team.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
huge
Yeah.
W tonight for Mr. Tap of the damn
Detroit Red Wings. Yeah.
on that one there. Playing being other hockey knowledge. Most really learned a bunch from you guys. Obviously, after that was eliminated from the playoff yesterday. Sorry to hear that, but I'm sure as an experience to get there, it was a good news about that one, Mr. Willie for the moves. Here we go, Mr. Otta. We're going to hit the middle of the season preview for the next couple of minutes. Um, the record Montreal Canadiens and 41 games, 17, 18, and 6, Mr. Otta. 24 of the 41 game, it was by 1 goal. The record is 12 and 12, Mr. Otta.
Hmm.
31 of the 41 game, there was outshot, Mr. Enoratp on that one.
Not surprising.
7 of the those game of the 31, they all gave 40 shot a plus, and 23, 24 of those game it was a shot and with 30 goal, 30 shots. So you think about that 30 game of the 31. The 31 game is on top is game number 42. So I apologize, but still, 30 of the 41 games on top are at shot, and they all gave 30 shot a plus during those games. So give you an idea where they have a difficult time at the end of the night on that department for the Montreal Canadiens. So will be interesting. Roger Collette is in the house tonight. Welcome in the house. Thanks to be with us. Patrick Leblanc talk about the football. There will be the Flame coach. What about the Cowboys? Impression today, Mr. Patrick Leblanc, about this. Do you think the Montreal fan will boo Toronto tomorrow night, Mr. Natap?
No, I don't think so. I, I mean that's part of the past now, and I don't think they really had ill feelings towards Drouin. It's just it got to a point where he didn't fit in anymore, and they had to move on from that. So I certainly hope not. Let me put it that way.
Yeah,
I certainly hope they don't
I
do that.
don't think so too. I don't think so. They have no reaction for Hoffman, so I don't think so. They have one anyway for Dwayne.
Yeah,
About
yeah.
that one, Reggie said that Mr. Tab, they're going to fire. Well, shit, don't keep. I think it's pretty good. I
Well,
think,
they should have probably done that a lot earlier, in my eyes. If you're
yeah.
gonna bring in a new GM, then you needed to do that as well. And remember that their assistant coach is ready to step in at any time, right? That's the reason why they brought him there, in my eyes.
And see, don't believe it could happen about that one there. So that was the record de setup for the Montreal Canadiens. And we're going to review a little bit. Usually we do a review guide one by one. All the players, we give the record or the ranking by A, B, C,
Yeah,
D. But tonight what we did, we do another way because we have too many. We're going to be a too long show. So what we did, we're going to give you a bit the MVP. We're going to give you some stood out, the impressive players, and then the disappointment players. It could be also after that, we're going to talk about the team concept behind the concept of the team. Could be power play and everything like that. So, and the chat, guys, you follow the conversation. You give us your statement or the what happening for the motor game for the review. And don't forget to click on the like. That'd be awesome. So, Mr. Tap, we start with right away the MVP of the Montreal Canadiens. You can go with three finalists, or you can go with one, or you can say yes. But the second player, it was very close for me for the first half of the 41 game. It's on top, so I can wait to hear your players.
yeah. I mean, I'll start. I'll start off by with Matheson at the top of that list. I think um, I think he ranks third right now in the team scoring, and you see that he logs well over, anywhere between 22 to 28 minutes a night, depending on the situation that happens. And he brings a lot to the team. He's got speed. He's got a good shot, and yeah, he does have some defensive deficiencies, but he's working towards that as well. So I think you can see when he wasn't in the lineup or when he was playing a little bit hurt, it made a difference with the team. Number two, I would say probably Montebo. I think he's continued to really shine. You mentioned that a number of those games were 40 shots and more this year against Montreal, of those 41 games. And he's really stood on his head, and I think he alone has maybe salvaged a couple games at least for Montreal in that time. So I would put him in that category. And then the third, I mean, I'm kind of conflicted because I don't want to say MVP because I want to put this person under more impressive category than MVP, but or even stood out category. But I'll leave it at those two for now, Coach. There's a few others that do come to mind, but I'm going to leave it with those two. And I know, like, I like what I'm seeing from Gooley as well, but um, I don't know if it's MVP.
Yeah, I think you nailed it for the two plus MVP for about Montreal Canadiens. Um, I will add Nick Zuski for me on that list, or the two you have. 12 goals, 23
Yeah,
assists. He still lead for the Montreal Canadiens on number of the point. And I think he improved his game on many other areas of the game. Plus his face-off is really high for the.
yeah,
He never been in that way. And I think the role he play inside the team, carry on the team on his shoulder, leadership, captain, responsibilities, and he still carry on and play, never miss game. And I think the type of players for me is the same level like the MVP for the Montreal game. He's going to be the All Star game, but the three player we mentioned to you is not a um, bad choice about this. Andy go with Montembeau for MVP, Mr. Tap. We have Abination go with Primo. Montembeau for Luc Lavortune. So, Mr. Tap, one look is agree with you. You feel better, right? You feel good
of
about
course.
yourself.
Mon ami, he knows his stuff. Yeah,
He knows exactly about that. I think Luc, I don't know. He looked like he was at the boxing game last night.
he was watching the boxing match. Yeah,
It
I
was.
wonder who
Did he
won.
go at the over there? No, he was not there.
No, I think he was watching it.
Okay. sound good about this.
Yeah.
Fixer, I'm not the biggest Suzuki fan, but he's quite the most effective player for the most of the time. For the moment, I will not be on the Avalanche on the road right now, but we need to win in the Canada stretch before the All-Star break. Willie Snyder, thanks so much. We got Nicolas go with Jake Allen for MVP. Brock Noser, Brown Noser Abination. I'm not sure about that one. Stood out player, Mr. Enoratp.
Well, a big standout for me has been Struble, right? As much as I always thought he was a very good defenseman, I did not think that he would come up to the team at some point, and then I'm not going to say dominate, but he's just played. He's played with such class, and he's played steady with poise. He almost looks like a veteran out there, and he's a rookie, and he's done it consistently now. So he's been in situations where the team is in very close games and has had to. He's been put in different opportunities as well, and he's responded every time. Now, again, has he made mistakes? I think everybody on that defensive core has made mistakes, and it happens with all teams as well. But he's been probably, I would say, one of the most consistent defensemen there, and he brings that element of physicality to his game. It's a different kind of physicality than obviously an Arbor Jacki brings, but it's an essential one, especially when you're eventually ready to make the playoffs and play under a different style of game.
Well said about that. If I follow my full segment about categories, I will set you, Mr. Enoratp. For me, my stood out is honestly Samuel Montembeault. I will give the MVP for Nick Suzuki, and my stood out is really Samuel Montembeault for his improvement and for the way he gave a chance for Montreal to win every time he's between the pipe. Yes, Primo did well. Primo did well on the road, very bad at home. Allen did well at the beginning of the game, at the season, struggled since that. I think it's now 10 games with 0 W. Most of the goaltender for me is Montembeault. And it's not only about the winning game, Mr. Enoratp. It's about how he is between the pipe. If you look about compare last season, I would say to you the first one we said about Montembeault, the rebound. He was a machine rebound all the time. Was getting the puck all the time. Better control with
He's
there.
getting much better. Yes.
Better. His movement lateral is so much better. Last night, again, a big save on the back door. Square. He's better square. He tracked the puck more. For me, those areas of this game get a little bit more his consistency with the Montreal Canadiens, and then his improvement is better. His confidence between the pipe is get better. Bad or round or good about the three goaltender. I don't have no answer for that one over there. But for me, the stood out for the Montreal Canadiens is really him for the Montreal. On this one, yes, you can talk about Jaden's trouble for that part, but overall for me, it's really Samuel Montembeault for that. Then we have Suzuki stand out for Andy Quilla. Patrick Leblanc gave us his update, Mr. Enoratp. MVP Sean Monahan. Stood out Montembeault, impressive Coley, disappointment, Caulfield, and Suzuki for Patrick for that one. There we go. We're going to move on for the impressive. Impressive could be a couple of players in Mr. Enoratp. It cannot, for my opinion, but I would like to hear your list of impressive for you for the Montreal.
Well, what I did is I went with one player and one situation for this, or one particular fact that stood out in my mind. In terms of the player, I'm going to take who you considered as your MVP and put him in the press impressive, and that's Suzuki. I think that again for the third straight year, he's leading Montreal in scoring. I think his faceoff proudness has really improved. He's had a lot of help from guys like Monahan and Dvorak helping him out with that. So that's great to see. I think right now he ranks up there in face-off victories in the NHL. I'm pretty sure he's in the top 10 if I'm not mistaken, and he seems to be even doing a much better job, especially after about the 15 or 20th game mark of the season. He's doing a much better job defensively. So in terms of a player that has been impressing me, and I still see a much higher ceiling for him, I would say Suzuki. In terms of the event or the fact that's impressed me, it's been Montreal really pretty much leading the league or being in the top two or three in terms of goals scored by a defenseman, um, because it seems to be going in the direction of what they want to build that core around, and that's players that can carry the puck. They can have the opportunity to join in on odd man rushes and have a good shot. And we're seeing that in spades this year. I think Barron leads the defenseman in scoring so far, but you see what Matheson has contributed, as well as a couple of other defensemen, and for me, that's a good sign moving forward.
Great point. Any other players?
No, player wise, I'm going to leave it at that. I mean, you can always make cases for other ones, but the first one that came to my mind was Suzuki and the defensive core in terms of their offensive contribution.
For me, impressive, we said Uri Sokoski, in my opinion. Sokoski, my expectation was not that same level he delivered with the Montreal Canadiens. Um, I don't think so. We see him at the beginning of the season as on the top line with the Montreal. I don't think so. I was expect him not on the outcome of the point I'm talking about, but his game development. I never thought his physicality of the game it would be at that level. I never thought it would be battle for the puck more, win his battle, open space for his teammate. And honestly, since he played with Caulfield and Suzuki, he carry on. He does a lot of great play for that. So his development and progression for me is impressive about Uri Sokoski with the Montreal Canadiens. Impressive, I would say to you, Sean Mannion, only reason why he is play all the game. So that first one is impressive because at some point in that, I was worried about, you know what, you maybe give him a break for one game and another game there, or maybe a slow,
Time management.
time of the season. But that, he has what 24 points, I believe, since the beginning of the season with 11 goals, and he does not have 90%. Although the fact he play on power play, he does not have the quality winger like other center have in NHL. So I'm talking he carry on like Anderson, Gallagher, Armia, most of the time Jake Haven beside him, Olenen, Anneman. You know what I'm talking about, right? So for me,
Yeah.
it's impressive. He still carry on the top 10, like you said, on the face-off. And he brings some kind of leadership to under the way where he's calm, quiet, but he always brings his consistency with the Montreal Canadiens game after game. So Sean Mannion is one of them. My other one is unfortunately he did not have a lot of games. He got hurt, but the David Savard. For Savard, what he brings on the table is really impressive. Block shot, great on the PK, and he scored a goal. He had 6 points on his return, maybe 7 since he returned with the Montreal Canadiens. So we have to give him a good. He had 10 points this year, by the way, and 10 games. Like that. I would give him right now a full season of 20 points, not 20 points. I would give him a 40 point with approximately 10 goals for David Savard. But it's not about his outcome; it's what he brings on the table. And we thought he's going to maybe slow more this year with the Montreal Canadiens, but he still carry on that team with his leadership, everything like that. A little bit impressive, not as a hockey, but is a 6 goal of Justin Barron, Mr. Enoratp as the defenseman. I think is under one. Again, he need to improve, but I thought in general he have a good year with the Montreal Canadiens. The defenseman, like you mentioned to you, and the outcome of the goaltender, the three goaltender overall. I believe for they have 34 great start of the 41 game this year, Mr. Tap. That would give them over 85%. So there's a great Redmond impressive. So I know I go left and right a little bit about that, but this is what I'm impressed right now with the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah, I would agree.
Mr. A2 is in the house tonight. Have a good night, Mr. Nicolas de Gobi-Bono. Luc Lavorson have a great question, Mr. Tap. Good. Would you consider Gallagher as a surprise this year?
Um, I would just classify it as an improvement. I'm not. I guess based on the previous year where he had the injury issue and it really kept him from uh, being played in almost any kind of situation. It was very difficult to play him. This year he's been at least more consistent. He's back to his old self in terms of being a nuisance in front of the net and trying to scramble to get those loose rebounds. So that part I would call an improvement in his game from last year. Is it a surprise? I think he always had it in him. It's just how is he going to bring it to the forefront?
I'll be hard on that one, Mr. Tap. He's one of my disappointment.
Okay.
-7, -19.
Yeah, I understand that.
So
I
for me, he had two reasons behind that. Is -19. I know minus not again, but is minus Mr. Tap many time with Monahan and Pearson was on the ice, all three together. And I think Gallagher, because he's bad penalty at the end of the game, I think I can call right now 4 with the game he happening last game. For a veterans, yeah, no excuse, Mr. Tap. And this is usually its lack of speed make this happening, right? And then his lack of awareness to figure out he cannot do those kind of penalty at the very big time of the game, at the end of the game. And thirdly, I would say to you, for me, for Gallagher, forgot.
Well, you know what I would add to that though, Coach, is that so much his fault or is it Martin St. Louis' fault that he's putting him in at those times in the game?
But
Like
this
that
one was
part.
there, but I would say we call he have penalty at 5 minutes, at 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes. But when you're a veteran like him, it's not that. You shouldn't be not worried
Yeah, I
about
agree.
him. At 30 seconds, I would be okay. Sometimes you're stuck with a no chance, everything like that. I was not said like Martin St. Louis. I think he have a choice. We have a face off at 1:30. I don't see he would send Gallagher over there. Uh, it was just a circumstance about that. I don't think so about that. But I have another point about Gallagher, Mr. Enoratp, but I cannot forget. But again, for me, it's just about disappointment because it's -19 overall for him with that. But at the same time, he has 7 goals, 42 games. Um, that's a little bit better where expectation was for
It is.
him.
It is.
But yeah,
It
Mr.
is.
Enoratp, I think you have 24 games with 0 goal.
Right, and they should really control the amount of ice time he plays. Like some of his shifts, he goes well over a minute and a half sometimes. I think at this stage, his time on the ice should be uh, considerably measured and controlled because he doesn't have that same speed anymore, and that's what's causing him to get the penalties. It's what's causing him to uh, get a low value in the plus minus category. They all go hand in hand.
Mr. Enoratp, I got it. I got it now.
What's that?
Yes, one he does. He try. He gave his heart. I understand that, and I respect that. And he's a warrior. We love Gallagher. It's all good. It's all there, right? But again, another stat we don't know is the XGF. Mr. Tap is the highest for the Montreal Canadiens, but he cannot capitalize. So he has the most chance or opportunity to score goal, but he cannot get it. So it's
Convert.
another
Yeah,
area
that's
where
the key.
I cannot finishing about that. So it's another area I was to mention about that one over there. And then the
Execution.
contract of the Luc Fortin about Gallagher. And we welcome A2, and A2 have great comments. I like your selection A2 in the chat. I really like it. Joe Manella is in the house. Don't forget, guys, to click on the likes. Great point about impressive for Kovacevic, Joe Manella. And I all agree about that. Disappointment. Do you have any other players that you want to talk about?
Disappointment again. I would again not disappointed in the player, perhaps, as much as what I thought my expectations for him were in terms of the number of goals he would get, and that's Caulfield. I know he's been thrown in different situations. That's probably contributed to that. I don't know if he's having any sort of lingering effects from the surgery that he had last year, the injury. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. He just doesn't seem quite as adept at converting that one timer like he used to. I think players are also more aware of that. He's also playing on the first line, so you're going to draw the best defensive attention from the best players on the other team. So those things all go hand in hand. It's just that I expected by this stage, maybe at least another 6, 7 goals from him than what he's at right now. And in terms of an event that's just been disappointing, is I haven't seen much improvement in the special teams this year with Montreal from last year at this time. I'm not as worried with the power play because I think that that's something that will come around, Coach. I'm more concerned with the penalty killing. I don't see that aggressive behavior from the players. I think that um, they should be a lot more challenging on the puck and not giving the opposing player much ice space to move around or make decisions or look for the open guy. And you can see there is a difference when certain players are in the lineup. Like I like when Dvorak's on the on the penalty killing because he does exactly that. He does approach it in that fashion. But sometimes Evans seems to do it sometimes, and sometimes he just backs off and allows the play to come to him. So it's I think that there's room for improvement there. And that's not a matter of, and the reason why I'm disappointed in it, final point, is that's not an area where you need necessarily a skilled player or two on there. It's about effort. It's about mixing it up enough so that you keep the opposing team from setting up properly and causing them to make mistakes. So that goes on the individual players more so than anything.
A great point about that. I will add with what you just said. I think they have three important players with the Montreal Canadiens play a lot of minutes on PK usually, and they was not there. And I think they have
Yeah,
the new players step up. I would say the injury at David Savard. That would bring example Justin Barron on the PK where it's not good. During the same time, it's
yeah,
not up. You don't have Christian Devorak for until what December, I believe. So without Savard Devorak, it's not good. They like RHP on the PK now, and he does a good job.
yeah.
But it was not there for many weeks. And then finally, my other players, it was not there many games. It was called up. It's Joel Armia Tap. So they have a lot of new players play a specific role in Montreal Canadiens. My only concern about that PK is you have a passive PK and you have an active PK. I think they're not chasing the puck. If you look about the best PK in
Exactly.
NHL, the best one, most of them are chasing the puck. When I said that, chasing the puck, is they have a battle. You are aware what's going on. They don't give any space to the player. They go there. They get there and they retrieve back quicker. But if you look Armia, if you use Monahan, if you
Hmm.
use Zuski, if you use Devorak, most of them, their skating is only average a little bit, not much fast players. And that's the reason why the Montreal, I believe, they don't too much active. You have David Savard at the D. It's not really, it's not a good speed again too. So again, and you use Mike Madison, Mr. Top, on the PK on unit number one.
Yeah.
It's not a shutdown with there. I think Kaden Cole is better. So on that point. So overall, I
And
don't want to make
you,
excuse here, but again, I agree with you. Disappointment about this one over there.
yeah,
Um,
they really miss somebody like a Paul Byron on the penalty kill.
Yes, exactly. Whatsoever they have a couple of chance, imagine they have a guy like Paul Byron to help in that one. I agree with you, Cole Caulfield. My high expectation, and everyone that chat, we said we would like to Cole Caulfield at maybe 16, 7 game goal right now on that one. Not bad. He had 29 points, but again, we would like a little bit more. The good news about Caulfield is developed. The under the side of the game is on the development. So, and his shooting percentage is one of the worst in the NHL with Matthew Ketchup. This is why, for me, Cole Caulfield is the disappointment
Disappointment.
overall for the Montreal Canadiens. The rest, I don't see much about this, like a disappointment or a really bad year so far about this one with that. And we have a question
Yeah.
from Mr. Luc Lavorson. He said, Coach, would you said Evans is having a good year aside from scoring, of course?
Yeah, I mean he's doing everything that's required of him. He's the kind of guy that is always under the radar, but he does the little things right. He rarely makes defensive gaffes or you can't ever fault him for not for lack of effort. I think that he brings that every single game. He's a quiet person, doesn't get involved with any kind of drama. He's in all the plays. I think he's aggressive that way. It's just there's many players around the league that bring that type of quality to their teams, and right now it's something that's needed in Montreal. But we'll see how much longer he'll be with the team in the next couple of years.
Um, Patrick said possible Sarkozy could be good on the PK, speed, a long stick, etc. A couple of times yesterday, Mr. Tap, the length of the skate of the stick of Sarkozy sometimes make him good way. I think it was one again, San Jose. He covered the guy behind the net with his stick, everything like that. So again, I think if you want to give him more minute, you can go that direction for sure. About that, GSM is in the house. Welcome back, GSM. Thanks to be with us. Cannot blame Caulfield is playing on the line with the right wingers. He should be on the third line based on the productivity of the point. Bob, about this. For me, Bob, it's not about the number of the point Cole Caulfield for me. It's about the number of goal he should have so far. His shot percentage on the net,
Yeah.
Bob, is lower about that. So that's what the reason. He should be a little bit more a leader on the run that line. He does not go that way there. But again, unfortunately, for that's only my expectation for him for that. Zev Lacav, welcome in the house. Thanks to be with us. Defense not is apathy, but he has improvement. Is back checking. Gauche and our top is Madison gone at the traded line.
Well, personally, I don't think so. But I mean, if the right offer comes along, Coach, I think you need to entertain it. But it has to be a pretty good offer for Montreal to go through that. And we enumerated the different reasons why he's so valuable right now here in Montreal. So it'd have to be a good offer for me. Otherwise, he stays.
I don't think so. He's going to get that one there. I don't think he's going nowhere on that moment. Mr. Tap. I don't see that for the Montreal Canadiens. And finally, Mr. Tap is not on the board. I will give you the 4-star of the tournament, the 4-star of the fast first half of the season, Mr. Tap. What it will be? Only one player. We don't have no two players. Guys in the chat, your 4-star. About that one there. I never answered, by the way, Jake Eben for I would look at, and after I'll give you a good answer. Look, so I agree with him about Chris Eben.
So you're asking, sorry for what, Coach?
The 4-star of the Montreal Canadiens.
This year so far.
Le Jacques Beauchamp trophée, Monsieur Tap.
Okay, so again, I would say Montebo. I would put Suzuki there. I would put probably Gooley there and Matheson.
Madison for you.
Yeah.
Um, honestly, I have two, but I have to go with Jaden Strobel. I wish he had a little bit more game to qualify a little bit more my trophy and my rewards for him. Um, I would go that one over there for his play. He made two mistakes the last two games. One every time. One it was a goal against San Jose Sharks at the corner, lost the puck again. Edmonton at the first period gave it. But it's a part of the process, the part of growing, the part to learning. So I'm not going to blame him for that part over there. But I think for me, the way his consistency, I think it helped me to understand his 4-star and the Montreal Canadiens. So we go with him. And then slowly behind that, I think another big role with the Montreal Canadiens, a little bit more quiet the last because he was held to discuss. Kovacevic, we have to put his name at some point because I think Kovacevic, until he get held to his scratcher, and I think he's not got punished because of his play. It's because
No, they
the number of the player we have as a defenseman missing a tap. So, and then the
exactly.
circumstance again, who they play again at the end of the night. So put this together. I would put this. I said only one player, but again, I have to go on that direction, missing a tap for that Montreal Canadiens. And finally, we have 5 minutes to go. What we do at the last missing a tap, I'm going. I have two questions, but I know we talk about this, not this one, missing a tap. It was the second half of 2024, 2024, 2023, 2024. You talk about the trade deadline, everything like that, Mr. Tap. But as a team, it's more like a prediction, Mr. Tap. 41 game to stay until the last of the season, Mr. Tap. Possible of 82 points. I would love to hear from you. What it would be your prediction for the Montreal Canadiens for the next 42 game a month, 41 game for the Montreal Canadiens, Mr. Tap.
Well, if you recall, Coach, at the beginning of the year when we did do our predictions, I said between 78 and 80 points is where I saw them finishing, and I think that's still in their realm of possibility. However, I will put a sort of a warning to that, and that's depends what happens at the trade deadline time, because if we end up giving guys like Monahan and maybe Savard or Allen away. Allen, I'm not as worried because we still have two goalies to fill in there. But if you give up a couple players and you're still playing the whole year without Doc, and the injuries can come into play as well, then don't be surprised if we see a little bit more of a decline. Not because the team is not developing properly, but it's because of the circumstances around it. I think these are the pains that you have to endure so that tomorrow, and I mean by tomorrow, I mean even next year, they can actually entertain the possibility of making the playoffs if many things go right.
Well, sir, Mr. Tap, about that, on that preview of the mid with the second half of the Montreal Canadiens, on that one there. If we do the same exercise at the end of the year, Mr. Tap, for the second half of the Montreal Canadiens, only one name, one player, you who is going to have the best second half for the Montreal Canadiens?
Good question. I would like to say, I would like to say Caulfield, hopefully, or at least that's my desire. In in actuality, I think we're going to continue to see very good improvement out of Slavkovsky. So I think he might really start to wake up a little bit more offensively in the second half of the season.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that one over there for sure. Um, I'm surprised you, Mr. Tap, but I expect like Mike Madison for me. I believe everybody laugh at me. I think you and Marko when I said Madison is going to get 55 to 65 points.
No, that's very realistic. That's very realistic given the amount of time he gets under different circumstances, right? Penalty kill, power play, 5-on-5, 3-on-3 in overtime. So I would not be surprised if he continues this pace. I don't see him improving it more. I thought that's what the question was. If you were to see somebody improving their play more in the second half, who would it
What is going
be?
to be your MVP at second half? Like who's going to be who's
Yeah,
going to have the best second half?
I gotta believe. I'm gonna go with Slokowski. I'm gonna go out on a bit of a limb here for him, and I think he's gonna really turn it on a little bit here.
All right, we're going to finish here what we do at the end of the night, Mister. Hopefully, Bob is going to stay until that. The prediction of the week, Mister Top. Congratulations to Run 20 and Gary Connery. They are the only one select, Mister Top, last week. It wasn't easy to get 0, 1, and 2, Mister Top. They did it. They did it. Congratulations for them. And I don't know. Willie Snyder, I didn't have your name over there, so I apologize for that part. But I look like we are not there, you and me, about that. I don't know where was my Luc Laforson and Enoratp go with
1-1-1.
yeah, and then we have 0, 2, and 1. And then Marko go with 1, 2. Patrick Leblanc, a triple W, have that record over there. So, anyhow, week number 15, Mr. Tap. 4 games for the Montreal Canadiens. Colorado Monday, Wednesday, New Jersey, Ottawa Thursday, then off at Boston. So we calculate them as on that 4 game and 6 night, 3 game and 4 nights, and then you have a back to back. And all those teams are not looking good, although the fact maybe Ottawa. And usually Montreal struggle with Ottawa. So at the end of the week, Mr. Tap, your prediction for everybody in the chat.
Okay, yeah, it's a tough week indeed, but I think 2 of the games are at home and 2 are on the road, if I recall correctly.
Colorado at home.
And Ottawa's on the road. Boston is in Boston. Is New Jersey
All
at
3
home?
games after that are back. It's really strange, Mr. Tap. They go to New Jersey,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And they have to go fly back to Ottawa. They have to go back at the borders, cross the custom, and then
yeah.
return. And 2 days after that, in Boston, it will be the next day. But if you think about it, will be easier. They go New Jersey, Boston, and finish in Ottawa Saturday.
In Ottawa. Yeah, I know. So there is a bit of a travel dimension there as well to consider. Um, you know what? I'm gonna go with 2-2 for the week. 2-2. I don't think we're gonna see too many overtime this time around.
0-4 for A2. We have Bob, last Colorado, last Jersey, win Ottawa, and last Boston. So he go with 1-3-0. Roy go with 0-4. About that. Andy go 0-3-1. Andy Kovula. 3-1 for Andy. Luke go for 1-2-1.
Luke, you're making me think twice now.
Gary go 1-2-1, I believe. Gary, he does exactly like Luke Laforson about that one over there. That's good. And we have Habs Nation 0-2-2, Mr. Enoratp. For Habs
Interesting.
Nation 0-2-2. For Habs
I
Nation
don't know, Sean. I don't know.
0-3-1, we have Joe Manella, Mr. Enoratp. Joe Manella at 0-3-1.
Oh, 3.
Patrick go 3-1, Mr. Enoratp. He's the first one does
All
this.
right. Patrick, way to go.
Patrick go 3-1-0 for Mr. Enoratp. Luc Fortin go with 1-3. Luc go with Bob, Mr. Enoratp, for that one over there. That's what we got so far in the chat. But Coach, what are you going to do? They lost Colorado. They tied the New Jersey. They lost against Boston. So right now I have 0-1 and 0-2-1. 0-2-1. Mr. Tap? What do you think they're
Zero
going to
two
do
and
against Ottawa, Mr. Tap?
I think they'll beat Ottawa.
They beat Ottawa?
Ottawa's in a bad place right now in terms of team morale. I don't like what I'm seeing there. Um, New Jersey's improving, so that'll be a tough game to win. Boston hasn't been playing great as of late. They've been in every game. They've been there, but they've lost a few. I think they've been 500 in their last 10 games. So if anybody, Montreal always tends to get up for the Boston games. So we'll see. I know Boston's had the better record over the last few years, but last time they met, I think Montreal did beat them.
Game of Gamer, go with 0-2, Mr. Tap, 2. For that. So I will go with this one, Mr. Tap. I decided to go with Andy Kouvila this week, 0-3-1.
You're making my prediction sound very optimistic then.
And the reason why, Mr. Tap, Colorado, I think they're going to get beat. I think after that, New Jersey, it could get 1 point on the road, Mr. Tap. And the fact they travel in Ottawa, they cross the car, they're going to be at 4, 5 o'clock in the morning at home. And
it's not that far. It's not that
at the
far,
hotel.
Coach. You're talking about an hour trip.
It's a back-to-back game, Mr. Tap. So that's my difficulty. That's why they don't win. And then again, Boston, I don't see on the road to get that one. So overall, Mr. Tap, I go with my final decision, 0-3-1 about that. Yeah, a lot of great conversation at GSM, Zev Lecav, about Bergevin. Unfortunately, I did not follow everything about that. Patrick is stuck with the football. He gave a W for the Detroit Lions tonight, Mr. Tap. So it is what it is. At the end of the day, what a great show, Mr. Tap. We did it without our co-host, Mr. Marko Larrabee. We miss him tonight.
Come back, Marko.
And unfortunately, we don't have no show of the locker room this week. Montreal play 4 games, so we're going to skip the show, Mr. Tap. And what are you going to do Tuesday night, Mr. Tap? But Tuesday night, I think I should go and do the game. Toronto Maple Leafs and the Oilers, Edmonton Oilers, Mr. Tap.
Okay, sounds interesting.
I think that would be good to watch this game live, to do a play-by-play, Mr. Tap. So that thing will be my week of what's going on in front of the channel. So anyway, Mr. Tap, without you, it will be impossible. Impossible, Mr. Tap, to get that show there because you are the man of the legend. Make it every single time a great show. And the reason we call you the legend because you are awesome. You are amazing. You are the best. And remember, you have greatness inside of you. That's the definition of the legend. That's the definition. We call him the legend. We're talking about Mr. Enoratp. So thanks so much, Mr. Enoratp, to be with us tonight. What a great night. Great conversation. Great in the chat. Great between us. And hopefully you guys will enjoy it. Every Sunday night, we do the weekly recap. It was an exception with the mid review of the Montreal Canadiens. Hopefully you enjoy each one of you guys in the chat. If you don't click on the like, we would love you guys to click on the like. That'd be awesome. We really appreciate it. Then follow the rest of the week. We're going to do all the play-by-play for the Montreal Canadiens. I can't wait to see you until the next time. And until then, Mr. Enoratp, we want to remind everybody, be well, BL. Find a way not only dominate your day, but find a way to dominate the first half of 20. What, Mr. Enoratp?
24.
You did it again, Mr. Enoratp. An amazing, great night. And thanks again what you did tonight. I can wait to see you until the next time. We wish you an amazing, great week, everybody, and the Hockey Nation Live Show. We, Mr. Enoratp.
Thank you, Coach, and thank you, Hockey Nation. Good night.
Have a good night, Mr. Enoratp. Mr. Enoratp, leave the building at that moment. But we want to take one more thing, guys, before we leave. We want to thank each one of you in the chat. And we're going to go right here. We want to thank Willie Snyder, Patrick Leblanc. By the way, Willie Snyder, what is your prediction of the night, of the week, Mr. Willie Snyder? I did not hear. Well, I don't remember. I put this on. Willie Snyder, the prediction Montreal Canadiens, 4 game. What is your prediction? Gary Cournoyer, Luc Lafortune, Habs Nation, Patrick Leblanc, AK, Reddy Walkman, Harry, welcome back, Mr. Harry. Have a good night. RJ Calabro always give us all the update of the night. We got Adam Berger a little bit earlier. JSM, Abination. Bob Ungol was in the house. Zeph Lecab knocked the door. Nat was with us a bit earlier. Who else we got and the chat? King of Gamer, Roy was with us. Abination. Luc Fortin. Of course, Joe Manella is in the house. Gary Cornoyer, of course, was with us tonight. Let's move on. Larry Lavallée was with us. Super chat we got tonight of the Rick Bengal and Dementra Bengal. Both of you from Halifax. Peter Poissonneau was with us a bit earlier. Andy Koivula, I did mention you. A2 knocked the door at some point. Adam Vaillancourt with the Iran knocked the door a little bit earlier. And if I forget you guys, we apologize. Until then, my friend, of course, is the end of the show. I will see you tomorrow night. We'll be back at 7 o'clock for the game of Montreal, Colorado. Don't forget to join me on the Montreal Canadiens versus Colorado. Booyah!